Hey guys, welcome back. And if you're unsure on what a good lick starter look like, this is it. Cold Dot Elementalist is insanely strong, and honestly, I think this is one of my best lick starter to date. You can safely get your full voidstone on less than like 100 chaos worth of gear. I have now cleared Uber Elder, Maven, got all 4 voidstone, and fully unlocked my Atlas. And before the lick start, I wasn't really sure if we have enough single target DPS. That was one of my main concerns going in, but with the additional powerful graph, we are able to get really solid single target DPS, and plus we have good and smooth AoE for mapping, very comparable playstyles, so yeah, we are able to clear bridges, fortresses, and most importantly, again, all of this is being done on an extremely low budget compared to some of the other meta builds out there. If you're playing Cold Dot right now, you can get an actual endgame setups, starting from level 41 with a replica allopathic gloves, and then you can swap to a 6 link with a 1 chaos weapons to scale all the way to 4 voidstone. And also the setup is really tanky. I'm almost level 95 right now. It is very comfy for mappings, and yeah, the build is just insane. So in this video, I'm gonna provide to you guys all about my day 2 update. Alright, let's take a look at my current characters. So right now I'm about 1 day and 2 hours into the league, and my characters is level 94. I didn't get to play a lot on day 2, so technically this is day 3, but it's gonna be my day 2 updates. So the biggest thing I've changed to the build is first I get a 6 link for Wintertide brand, and then I grab a Firebond, Tollbond 1, which is really cheap for what it does. So essentially this one helps me do more damage than like a 5+ divine one where I have to do multi-mod and craft on it. So I don't know, this is really good, at least for Cold Dot build, for what it does, and it's only cost you 1 chaos. And this one gives you +4 to level of all cold spell skill gems. So if you don't know how to search for this one, basically you only need to go here and type in the name of the one, which is this one right here. You click search and you look for the cold spell skill gems and just click on it, and then you will be able to get like a +4 for very cheap. So it's 1 to 2C, doesn't really matter, it's always worth it. So beside the +4, right, you also get the cold exposures. Inflicts applies an additional -12 to cold resistant, and usually for boss fights we are using Frost Bomb, so that is like almost double the effectiveness of Frost Bomb, which is really good as well. So yeah, this is a really cheap one, and usually people need to learn how to craft one, weapons and stuff. It's gonna be pretty hard to beat this kind of one because of the power it gives to the Cold Dot build. We don't really care about the other modifiers, like gain power charge when killing a frozen enemies. Sometimes you gain, power charge. We don't really use it in the build. And then we have +23 mana on killing a frozen enemies. Also doesn't matter too much. So yeah, just grab anything that you see that have +4. Beside that, yeah, we are doing 6 link right now. So we have Wintertide brand, I can search, inspirations, hypothermia, efficacies, and control destructions. So like I mentioned before, because we are using the fallen crystal graph, we should not be using elemental focus link on here, which is why I chose to go for inspirations. But also because in a 6 link, usually your skills is gonna cost a lot of mana, but having only a cost of 44 mana, and then we have 200 mana, help us spend the skills a little bit better. So it feels a lot more comfy in mappings. If you don't have inspirations and you decided to go for another damage link, yeah, it's gonna cost like at least like 70 to 80 mana, which you run out of mana really quick. So it's not as comfy in my opinion. Inspiration also give you a more damage multiplier to elemental damage, which is also good. So yeah, this is my current 6 link, and it pairs really well with the setups. The graph that I'm running, basically I upgrade my graph a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm doing fallen crystal graph. This one just like I mentioned before, it shoots out like projectiles up to 4 additional targets in the range that is shield, and we are always shield because we are using Wintertide brand. And basically this one does a lot of damage. It has a cooldown timer of only 0.4 seconds, so it's like constantly shooting out a lot of damage. And I choose to pick up one with 2 very important suffixes. Now, I briefly mentioned the skill used by the Graph inflicts Frostbite on my first day update, but yeah, I didn't really buy this one until second day, until I decided to swap to a double curse setups, which, yeah, I bought the ring and then I'm running Elemental Weakness. And the rest, you know, the Frostbite is inflicted by this graph right here. And then skill used by this graph deal increased damage. So this one, first of all, you want to get one with like high level of Falling Crystal. So level 30, I believe, is the highest. And skill used by the graph deal increased damage, give you more damage than actually getting the +4 to level of Falling Crystal. So yeah, ideally you get these 2 suffixes. And then for the prefix, it's really whatever, but a really good one would be increased graph blood gain, which I get a lucky exalt on. I bought this one 3-modded with plus cold resistance as a prefix. But yeah, overall, just try to get one with a skilled inflict by this graph inflict frostbites on hit, so you can run 2 curse setups comfortably. And then for the other graph, I'm still running preserving stillness, which I'll probably look into to see which one I can run. But overall, this is giving me like a 900 damage shield whenever I cast my Frost Bomb on the boss, so yes, decent tankiness. And then for other items, it's roughly the same. So I'm still using the helmets from day one. I swapped my gears to the ES evasion setups, and I try to focus on that. Most of this gear I did not have to buy, and I just kind of used the Genesis tree to craft, which I'll get into in a bit on the Genesis tree. But yeah, I changed my shields, glove, boots, pretty much to have chaos resistance, a bit of suppressions, even though I don't really have cap suppressions right now. But yeah, focus on getting a high amount of evasions and ES. So yeah, my character is actually really tanky and comfy in mappings. And then for double curse setups, you need to run Daughter Damnings or Anathema. I chose to go for this one, so I have extra elemental resistance, for the reason I'll get into right now. So previously, when we were running the Replica Allelopathy, it granted you a level 25 Wintertide brand, which has 0% quality, and you cannot scale the level of that skill gems. But because now we are actually using the skill gem instead, which means that you can get +4 from here, and you can get a +1 to skill gems from here, and it's minus your resistance. And then I also take the Cold Massey, which give cold damage over time multiplier for each 4% overcap cold resistance. So, which is why I scale a lot of cold resistance into the build. So like I have about 25 to 30% Cold Dot multi right now, which added on top of this, right? So we have like almost 100% cold damage over time multiplier. But yeah, I think that is it. Oh, one more thing. Okay, so I announced the amulets. Same amulets from yesterday with Ash, Frost, and Storm, which increase the effect of chill and you know, freeze, a little bit of elemental damage. But it's also because chill is very strong in our build. So you can see in the passive skill tree here that I spec into Glacial Cage. Essentially increase the effect of chill, and also giving us a little bit of damage, but more importantly, it's because I also unspec'd out of my Heart of Destruction, which give me conversions. The problem with conversions is that it is 30% more elemental damage for single targets, but you can kind of see that I didn't really need it. We have enough single target DPS, and this one only have about 15% more elemental damage because it has about 50% uptime. Because yeah, it changed every 8 seconds and stuff, so it's not really that consistent. But this is a lot more consistent because you can chill enemies up to 40%, which help a lot during boss fights, but also helps you a lot during the bridges and fortresses where monsters are just like kind of running at you. And because Wintertide brand jump between enemies, so you can kind of like chill the whole pack, make it a lot easier to handle so you don't get overwhelmed by monsters. But anything beside that, the tree is pretty much the same. This is my level 94 tree, which I'll provide a POB in the description of this video. But yeah, this is the characters. The gear is really cheap if you like don't consider to focus on a lot of like defensive stats, right? If you only need to have like cap resistance and you have enough damage, then yeah, just this one for 1C, a 6 link, which is also really cheap this link, and you can self-craft it yourself. And you should also slam your rare items with the Eldritch and Eaters implicit as well. So for the body hours, I chose to get the effects buffed by golems and evasion ratings. For this one, you want to get cold damage or attack multiplier. Cold exposure is like decent, but it's not great, right? Because our Wintertide brand doesn't hit. Only cold snap's gonna hit. So yeah, this one I choose to get fire resistance, but I think I can swap over to cold resistant right now for a bit more damage. But yeah, in terms of gear and skills, that is pretty much it. Just try to focus on your resistance. Most of your gear is going to be defensively anyway, because the damage setup that we have is actually quite good. Alright, so let's quickly talk about the strats that I'm currently running. This is my Atlas right now. It is very, very messy, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna recommend this Atlas tree. But for now, the main thing I want to do was to complete my Atlas before I move on to my second Atlas tree. But yeah, the main thing here is I'm doing betrayals. So all the betrayals mechanics I clicked. All these adjacent map drop chance you should also click. But the first thing you should do is to path all the way up here, get the unwavering visions, and get all these shapings node as well to keep your map sustain really rolling. And then, yeah, eventually you'll get to red maps to T14 plus, where you can spec into destructive play. So the main map mechanics I am doing is destructive play and betrayals. I'm gonna quickly do a map showcase right here. So all I'm doing is running rare maps. It is Arc and Go, destructive play, betrayals. Yeah, so I don't run anything. I don't invest in my map just yet. And you click on this, so you will be like fighting 2 or 3 boss, right, depending on how much monster you clear during the maps. So I'll try to rush 2 boss, but I'll try to clear a lot of monster here. The build itself, you can see, is also very tanky. Most of the boss, or like most of the fights, you are just running around, dropping your Wintertide brand. It plays very, very similar to a total playstyles. Yeah, so we have no problem with Bridge. You can turn on Val Cold Snap sometimes, and it helps a bit with AoE. But otherwise, you drop down your brands, it's gonna attach to the enemies. It's like totems, but it feels better because your Wintertide brand doesn't die. Yeah, so you can see we have no problem with AoE clear. And I would assume we don't have problem with like endgame juicing as well. But yeah, Wintertide brand is also very like very chill skill, right? Because there's not much going on the map. So I don't know, it looks pretty nice. It's a pretty decent skills, and yeah, so bridge or fortresses is not really gonna be a problem. You never have problem with bridge or fortresses. And then for the single targets, we can choose to cast our curse, or you can cast this frost bomb here to add like a bunch of cold exposure. Usually I don't click on Essence because if you're not spec'd into Essence, it's not really worth your time. So only do the lick mechanics that you spec into to be profitable. I think this league is also... feel like this is a poverty league because people have concern about rare monster are getting replaced. So you can't really juice up your map too well, which means that a lot of these lick mechanics that is, you know, stable, like betrayals or destructive play where you just fight boss, right, is gonna be quite profitable. So I'll do an update on my strategy farming. Most likely it's gonna be on day 3. But yeah, you can see we have no problem with AoE, and this is not really a spammy playstyle. It's very comfy. all you need to do is rush to the pack, drop your Wintertide brand, it's gonna AoE clear everything. It plays just like totems, but it feels a lot smoother. And then if you see a rare monster, just drop a Cold Snap and that's it. Try to keep up your Frenzy charge stacks from Cold Snaps. Like that. So if you Cold Snap on top of the enemies and they die, you're gonna get Frenzy charge, which also speed up your move speed and shield charge around the map as well, so that feels pretty nice. You can see our freezing things shooting out and it do a lot of damage. I haven't really had experience with the others graph yet, but I believe like this has to be one of the better graph out there. So yeah, for boss fights, just kind of spam everything, and but damage is not gonna be a problem. This is again still on the you know, 1 Chaos 1 and 6 Link setups. And then Destructive Blade give you these kind of maps, right, which go for like at least 10 CE on lick start, so it's quite profitable. But yeah, that's gonna be a map. I'll talk more on my other skill trees. I actually didn't want to really talk about this because I think it's quite messy, but yeah, it works for now. And Betrayal's safe house is also very profitable. Yeah, so whenever you are full, just talk to Jun and then run the safe house. So for the Betrayal's mechanics, there are many different strats out there, but I try to keep it very simple. I try to build relationship between these characters, and I just try to level up my lower level star guys. So whenever you run into maps like into those guys, just build them up to 3 stars, and then imprison them for intelligence and run the 3-star safe house. Alright, so very quick on my 0SS tree. I haven't really had a lot of experience testing these out, but main thing here is I have been using the equipment items to craft whatever gear I have, right? So I think that's a little bit too much to go into details, but you can use these things right here. I went over this in the streams whenever I craft these, so maybe you can, if you check out my VODs on the stream, you can kind of see what I do. But you can choose what items you wanted to craft, and then you can pick the base here. So I want a Dex and Int base, so I pick these, and then do the less strength requirements. And then for the modifiers, just kind of reduce the modifiers that you don't want. You can look for these tag or modifiers on PoE DB to see what you actually want, right? So what you don't want, right? If I'm crafting a shield right now and I don't want to have physical modifiers, attack modifiers, mana modifiers, right? Those are the mods I don't want, so I don't. So I choose them over here, and then I want to have chaos modifiers, so I can have chaos resistance. I want to have defense modifiers, so the shields can roll with like high amount of evasions and ES. As you can see here, we have like tier 2, tier 1, and then I self-crafted a prefix modifiers, and then we have the chaos resistance, but also cold resistance and a little bit of regen. This is also self-crafted. I get like a T1, T2, T2 on ES and evasions, and then this is on a necrotic armor base as well, so it's really good. Suffix is said to be desire, but yeah, it's a bit harder to craft the dexterities or like dex and int gear, because the suppress spout damage don't really have attack, so you just kind of have to get lucky. But that is pretty much what's going on with the tree. This is my currency trees. So far I only have 1 divine coming from the tree, and yeah, I don't really use the unique trees. I'm not sure if it's kind of worth it. It costs a lot of graph blood, but also I think graph items is always worth it, because eventually you want to have a really good graph yourself. But I'm not sure if it's worth it to roll for the toll graph. Like I'm putting toll graph because I want to get this one for myself, but because we are in trade league and I can kind of just buy this, so yeah, if you want to be profitable, maybe look to do some of the other popular graph, maybe like the one for the lightning build or the wander build. So look for whatever is popular that they are playing to be crafting these, because these I believe are also monies. And that is pretty much my day 2 updates. I think the build is still extremely extremely good on the budget. So far, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like fully invest into the Love Life setups, but I most definitely can. I'm going to clear the fears, do a few more things on stream today, and then we will provide a full build guides for the League starters, which I believe, once again, it has been like my best League starter to date, and it is really beginner friendly because you really don't need to do anything to succeed, right? So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, but otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.